strength knowing who you truly are. So, Angela,
What a good
welcome.
question. Thank you. Okay, first I want to share the inspiration for today's topic.
Mm-hmm.
See if you guys can hear this. Hopefully I will have it loud enough.
Now
I
get
can
back
hear
on
you.
track, regain your focus, and give the rest of this year everything you have got.
Um,
Okay,
Girl, get back on track, regain your focus, and give the rest of this year everything you have got.
okay.
awesome.
Girl,
That was a post that Grace made, and I went, oh my gosh, we have to talk about this topic because, girl, get back on track, regain your focus, and make the rest of the year everything you've got. I mean, how amazing would that be? It is almost September 1st in 2 days.
Yeah.
So we have the last quarter of the year. So if
Mhm.
you have let this first 3 quarters of the year kind of feel like they're wasted time, or you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, or you feel behind in some way, or maybe it's been a struggle and you want to do a little bit of catch up, you still have from September to January 1st to do everything that you wanted to do. You might have to refocus on what you're actually going to get done, but it's possible to pick and choose and kind of regain your bearings, even in the fall, because fall is an amazing time to hunker down. School starts, all those things, and it feels like the air is crisp, the leaves are falling. Well, for us in Canada, it is anyway. And
Don't say the S word.
perfect time to kind of give yourself some grace and compassion for making it this far. And so what? If you haven't hit your goals or done everything that you've wanted to get done, yeah, you still have months to do that. And we got to be
Mhm.
realistic because, like you said, there's setbacks and things happen out of nowhere that we can't control sometimes. And so then we have to go with flow with the punches, and we don't always get everything done that we plan out to do and everything. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought her post was so cool. And the next
Thank
thing
you.
I want to say answer is your question then. And all of us have setbacks. Like, it doesn't really even um matter what type of setback it is. Of course it matters, but I mean, it doesn't matter in the fact that everybody has different things. Like she said, maybe it's a divorce, a relationship breakdown. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe you've had a death in the family or a friend. Maybe you've
Mhm.
had maybe you're in even like addictions recovery, things like that. Like
Yeah.
maybe you had some sort of setback. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe something's happened and you were forced to move. Who knows?
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be anything life-threatening, but it can be something that throws you off of your focus, right? And throws you off of where you thought you were headed this year and what you wanted to do. And so I know you guys, most of you know my story about my heart transplant and my diagnosis and things like that. And so I'm just getting on track with you. We're going to do this together. This is your safe, sacred, supportive place where we can all work together
That's right.
and grow together, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is where you guys can ask any questions. We will answer every comment that you have in the next podcast, unless we don't see it, of course. And we'll actually want to have a Q&A pajama night we talked about one night.
Yes, I look
That's gonna
forward to
be
that.
that's gonna be super fun.
It
I
is
love
gonna
it.
be super fun, like it's one of those just relax, be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can wear your pajamas and come along with us, and you can ask us questions and we will answer them. Or we'll take them from comments or wherever and answer them. But that will be fun. So when we're talking about focus and thinking about the rest of the year, as in we have September, October, November,
Mm-hmm.
December. So never mind what's happened, because like if something has happened critical, the most important thing isn't getting things done. It's all about you and your mental health, mental and emotional and physical health. That comes first. If you're ready to regain your focus and get, planning and get some things on nailed down that you want to accomplish, then after you regain your bearings, then is the time to kind of start thinking about what do I really want? Maybe I didn't get all these 100 things or 10 things I wanted to get done, but what are like one or two really important things to me that you can prioritize to focus on that would make you feel like you accomplished something? That's kind of how I would maybe start the
Yeah.
planning process.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good. It's good to have a plan, because if you don't plan, you plan to fail, right? There's that famous saying, you plan to fail if you don't even plan. At least plan. Like Angela said, be realistic as well. But at the same time, while you're being realistic, because realistic is great, but don't forget to dream again. Be creative, add some juice in your your practicality in life, some color, some adventure, some aliveness. Because if you don't feel alive for the rest of this year doing your projects or focusing your project, then it feels like a chore. It doesn't feel like dream came true, right? So for me, that's how I do it. Like, what kind of what kind of fun can I add in my values and vision to accomplish
Yeah,
this?
make it fun,
Make it fun. Why
not a
not?
chore.
No, not sure exactly. Like, I love the saying of which is becoming my mantra now. Life is too beautiful, so why not make it significant as you? So when you say significant, you start thinking about what kind of how can I get better? How can I be a better human being?
Mm,
Because being human, there's less judgment, because we all make mistakes sometimes. We all stumble, right? So don't focus so much on perfection. That's what I would do for me for the rest of this year, because it feels, when you think about the rest of this year, yeah, it looks like you have not enough time, but what are your other habits? Again, we discussed this in our past podcast. It's about habits, right? Angela mentioned this before, that it's your habits. Sometimes what kind of habits? Maybe your procrastination. It's your procrastination habits, right? That makes you not do what you needed to do. What do you prioritize versus procrastinations, right? So those two things, procrastination and or priorities. So
mm-hmm,
it's like contrast and clarity,
mm-hmm.
right? So for the rest of the year, so find those what are your contrast and clarity, and what are your procrastination habits and your priorities, and go from there. But give yourself deadline, have some fun, and yeah. So what else can you add to that to refocus yourself?
Oh, I just had a whole bunch of good ideas and then they just like disappeared because I got chemo brain because I got chemotherapy yesterday. And so
Oh,
like yesterday and today, sometimes a bit
right.
tomorrow, I get this like sometimes I get the most amazing ideas actually, but then if I don't write them down, they're gone. And sometimes I can't think at all. But
It happens to all of us,
yeah,
like, yeah, sometimes I do that too, and then I would go back 3 steps backwards, and sometimes those tricks work, but other times it doesn't.
yeah.
I mean, it's not that important right now, but it will come back to you, right? So yeah, and for me, it's just to that thing that I posted on Facebook that become the inspiration for this topic that Angela really wants to talk about too, is that it made me think too, like, what am I gonna do for the rest of this year? Because for me, I don't feel like I'm not the kind of girl who wants to repeat my yesterday or yesteryears to this year
No,
and the next year.
no.
Like,
Hey, that's a good point because when we are just start to live the same day over and over, that is so like wake up, like awakening.
mm,
Because you're kind of like, okay, I'm not moving. You're not creating momentum. You're not building
right,
off of something. You're just doing the same day on repeat. And then that becomes super boring. But
exactly.
what you were saying before about the setbacks is that's one thing I was thinking was when you have those, sometimes there's so much things that go along with it. There's, besides guilt and shame and grief
Mm,
and pain and all of
yeah,
those things, there's also sometimes a lot of things like self-sabotage,
that was a big one.
procrastination, and perfectionism, because you feel like when your world gets out of control, sometimes we grasp for those other things, and sometimes good things will come along and we'll actually sabotage ourselves without
Yep.
even realizing it until after, because of these preformed, habits and beliefs and different limiting thoughts, and also from the pain and the mental clutter that you have from when you're
Yeah.
going through all of that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so sometimes your gets away from you, and like he said, that is like there's only a few months left. So definitely I would say prioritize what is most important to you. Like go back to what Grace said and think about your values. Like what truly
Mhm.
aligns with you? What projects or things or
Mhm.
what is it that you want to accomplish? And maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your personal life, whatever that is for you. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to start write a book. Maybe you want to make a course. Maybe you want to make a new habit, make a new routines for this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can
There
give an
could be so many.
example so that people can understand clearly here to give them clarity too. Is that okay? My life example, I would give one of the scenario. Let's say for this month, August, or for the last 2 months, I've been working my butts off with my
Yes, she
book
has.
project. And there are times I have procrastinated because I let my feelings feel me, and I feel the feelings of me. It's like there's two people in you. It's like your healthiest version of yourself versus the current moment you are now. It's like you're separated and there was a gap, and that gap feels like I'm not enough. Those are the self sabotage whispering in your ears. I'm not enough. I'm stupid. Who am I to accomplish this book? Like people will judge me, and you start thinking those. If you start entertaining that, you spiral down. And then when I stopped entertaining that, my I started turning those self sabotage into 3 words. I'd start saying to myself, and it's been a habit for me, it's a good habit. I just say to myself, I love you. And then I my my highest version of myself replied back, I love you too. it sounds so, it sounds so crazy, but and it became automatic in my system that it starts saying I love you to myself, and then myself said I love you to me, like I love you too. And it felt so great. It's like there's less judgment, and I giggled to myself like, geez Grace, you're going crazy, but you're not. It's better than saying I hate myself, I'm stupid, and but the
Of
energy.
course. And you're
Yeah.
so smart and so beautiful. Like, isn't it funny how we all, doesn't matter, even if you ask like the richest person or the most
Mm,
famous people, they still battle the same insecurities as everybody else.
exactly.
Never alone. You're never alone.
You're never alone, and
Yeah,
it's all the reason why I
it's
shared
the
that.
humanness.
The humanness has an inner world, psychologically speaking, and that inner world is that monkey brain talking to you, and then there's that smart brain that's talking to you too, like, so who are you gonna listen to? And it's up to you. Life is a choice. Right? So I start listening to the smart me and say, okay, what can I do today? What can I do different today so that tomorrow I feel different? Right? So I started writing bit by bit, even though I got so tired. But then I saw the calendar, like, what? It's almost the end of July. I'm not done yet. I'm
I
not
know.
done yet.
I'm still wondering where August went.
Yeah,
I don't
now it's
honestly know
August.
where August went. It
Yeah.
was gone. Like I feel like where was I even? Was I even here?
hmm But then I gave myself grace to extend my my deadlines. But then I decided something inside of me said, don't keep yourself giving extension to your deadline, because that's a bad habit now too. you know. So I decided, okay,
Well, did you have an actual deadline?
I did have an actual deadline supposed to be last week, but I finished it this week because one of my producer talked to me and, okay, let's get this done, and then, okay, I'm gonna submit my revised version of my book to you this weekend, and then I submit it on Monday. But I said, better late than never. You
That's
know,
okay. See, okay, I want to make a point here because
good.
that's
Yeah.
really important what you just said. Is as practical as we want to be
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, taking care of our self and our mindset and our health is more important than that 2 days extra that you needed to do that. And guess what? Probably nobody even noticed or complained or
No,
anything,
no,
right? Like,
nobody did.
yeah. So a huge part of that is putting yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of you.
Yeah.
And fall is kind of that season that we were talking about earlier, where it's like crispy and cool and you
Yeah.
get sweater weather and whatnot. And so to me, it screams kind of self-care in the fall. And when I say self-care, I don't mean going and getting your hair done and your nails and whatever,
No, that's
having
not
a
me.
bubble bath. To me, I do that whenever,
I
you
feel
know,
so.
yeah, I don't need an occasion, but
No,
that's not the kind of self-care I'm talking about. The
no,
self-care I'm talking about to help you be an action taker and stop
right.
procrastinating and get stuff done is to reduce the mental clutter
Mm-hmm.
in your mind. And one tip I really wanted to share, this is one of the ones that I forgot earlier where I said I
Okay,
got
now you remember.
is if you want to have some clarity and a really crisp mind, doing the physical task of decluttering your space or your home or where you're working or whatever you're doing as much as possible also reduces that mental clutter. When you clean up your surroundings and you get rid of stuff and you tidy up and you minimize a little bit. I'm
That's
not
right.
talking about living minimal. You can see I have stuff, but like minimalistic, but enough where you feel like that sense like, oh, I can breathe in here. I can get some stuff done because that's what I have to do in my office. Like I honestly have to do it every 2 days because
Yeah.
all of a sudden I start working and the papers are everywhere and stuff's everywhere. And I'm looking at stuff and thinking, where can I put this? And we have a really kind of a small house now. And it's not small, but it's got
Livable.
zero storage. So
Yeah.
it's hard to figure out where to put stuff. But I have to clean up a lot. And I always have that rule, if you bring something in, you get rid of something too. And so when you do that, though, it really helps declutter your mind so that you can focus better on what you actually want to do.
Yeah.
And
And
having
when
the
you
self-care thing is really important because when you feel like you're
your
feel
worth.
empowered and worthy and you get a new perspective on what you're doing. You feel like you're taking care of yourself, like you're
Totally.
valuing your own self,
Yeah.
not just worrying about taking care of everybody else and everything else. And
I know. And
yeah,
that's hard for everybody, especially parents. Doesn't matter if you're father or mother. You always put yourself less, and that's not healthy either. That's showing a bad example to the kids that they're gonna, you're passing it along your wounds to your kids instead of wisdom to your kids. And when are you gonna break that, generational suffering, right? Like it's up to you to set that example that it's okay to show your kids that be selfish about your self-care. Doesn't mean you're a selfish person. It's an act of love, actually. It's an act of
mhm.
love. Put that in your new,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, put that in your vocabulary, change your dictionary meaning about selfish. Selfish is an act of love because, yeah, yeah, I'm selfish. Yeah, so what? Because I'm taking care of myself. Who can take care of my kids if I can't take care of me? You
Yes,
know?
you cannot give from an empty well. You can't
Yeah,
share your water.
yeah. We did discuss this last week,
Yeah.
Wednesday, about empty cup, half empty, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's the moment you focus and you're so laser focused. I finished the revised version of my book at 3 a.m. even though half of my eyelids were like half open, and I was like, I gotta finish it. I really gotta finish it. So tomorrow, and then I just like, I don't care, but I had to go to work tomorrow, and I was like, but what I did the next morning, I took my supplements with me. That means I still took care of my health. I ate breakfast. There's sometimes I don't eat breakfast, because I do intermittent fasting too, because I do detox, not just eat healthy, but you need to detox as well. That's part of your self care, and not just your talking nice words to yourself, but what do you eat, so that you can focus your mind and do your project as well. Is also part of it is your nutritional health values. You
Yeah.
really it's important to you because
Can
this
you share
body.
more about what you
Mhm.
do, like what you eat and what your favorite things are, and what time do you do your intermittent fasting?
My intermittent fasting, like I mostly do them every day, but I give myself to break that fast on a weekend because sometimes I want to hang out with people, right? So, because I've been doing this for 7 years and counting, I haven't stopped because I felt good in my body. So I would skip breakfast every morning and eat around 12. And if on a weekend, I would eat around 10 or sometimes 8:30, but 8:30 is not really, my stomach doesn't agree with that because what it does to your body is like you need time for your guts to wake up. But your guts just been grinding all night for you to give you some storage energy in your system, and then when you wake up, by the time 8 or 9, 10, by 11, your that storage energy inside you is being used by you. Then you can eat heavy meals
Understand.
by noon, and allow yourself to a window to eat or supper time heavy meals, because the reason why I eat heavy meals during supper time or lunchtime is because that's when the gut is really hungry and wants to grind something, so put it to work, so give it heavy meals. So yeah, and then I stop eating by 8, because by 11 o'clock our guts, that's when guts starting to work and grind stuff. Because if you eat by 11, it doesn't grind anymore. Your food gets fermented in your gut, and you don't want fermented food in your gut. That's when you have gut problems. And be careful also what kind of food that you want to feed yourself. For example, I'll give you an example, like potatoes. White potatoes have lectins in it, and it causes leaky guts. And almonds with skin on it, remove the skin because it does have lectins and it causes leaky gut. So what are the food that have lectins, more lectins? All foods have lectins, but some of them don't have stronger lectins, because lectins can cause leaky guts. Yeah, and it's hard to repair guts. Bones can be repaired, but guts it's hard. So always take care of your gut, because your gut is your biggest brain, and then your heart, and
Yeah,
then
and it's
your
so
mind.
related to focus too,
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's right. Because
when
if
you're
your
doing
gut
that,
is,
you
you're
don't have
not
to
feeding
worry.
your gut proper food, but because you can't think straight, right? Like you said, you can't think straight. Oh, I got stomachache, I can't. Or I'm gonna have diarrhea, I can't work right now, right? And it's all in your gut. And people can't lose weight because their gut is clogged with toxin. You may eat the healthiest food in the planet, but you're so weak. You have no energy, but you have illnesses, but you're not losing weight. You're still eating, but because you know why? You're not losing weight or you have illnesses because you have not detox yourself, or you don't meditate. It's all about your center energies inside you. Is learning those meridian points. And once you learn, that's what I've been doing. Is respect your temple, because your temple is your body. It's the only house you are living in this lifetime. So you might as well take care of it so that you can experience for the rest of your life what you want to do, how you want to live, and how you're going to create, because we are here to create. So it's up to you to create it significantly, and what are those significantly? Again, back to habits, right?
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah, those are
focus.
really good points to help with focus too,
Yeah,
because when you're not hungry or you're thinking about food all the time, that can cut into how productive you are because you're getting up to go make food. And it actually cuts out time by doing that,
yeah.
not like skipping breakfast, but that's not for everyone. I'm not
No, it's not for everybody, because
your
some
way.
people do it like in the evening, they skip evening, right? So it depends on, because everybody has different system. I would, because has everybody has different metabolism type, so you have to know which one is yours. I mean, you can hire a nutritionist for that. I know someone. I mean, I used to do this to teach this as a weight loss coach, but I don't do it anymore. But if you still want to connect with me, I can show it to you, but not in this discussion right now. We're gonna more focus on focus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
another topic, another night, we can get into that because yeah,
yeah,
you're the expert in that area, that's for sure.
yeah.
That would be
The
great.
nutritions, spirituality, and focus on that too. What do you wanna grow in your life? Because there's 7 aspects of life: your spirituality, your finances, your mentality, your energy, emotions, your physicality, your relationship, and then your the consciousness of everything else. Right? So which of those you wanna focus on? Your career. What about your career? What do you wanna do with that? You can do 3 of those aspects at the same time. For some people they can only do one, and
Mhm.
that's okay. At least you chose something.
Yeah, and for the rest of the remainder of the year, you could choose 1 or 2 of those that you kind of did a review and reflect
Hmm.
on where you want to make improvements or changes or whatever. You
Yeah,
could pick 1 or 2 of those to really focus on
yeah,
for the rest of the year if you are not sure of a goal or
yeah,
anything. Like maybe you don't, you want to get stuff done, but you're not sure what to do.
yeah.
You can look at those different areas of your life
I
and
mean,
think about where you're not in alignment.
oh, that's a good one, because I remember when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't in my alignment with my emotional intelligence, my spirituality, and my physicality. So I decided to do the 3 in 1. And I gave myself a timeline for, I said, I promised myself I want to grow in these 3 areas of my life for 10 years. So
Oh, that's
for this, within those 10 years,
long.
I went to go to back to school. I studied psychology, and I study emotional intelligence, and study about energy of emotions. And then I studied about spirituality. So I combined psychology and spirituality and energy in science, all 3 in combined. So I within 10 years, like those are just focus, while I was still like mothering 4 little kids and giving birth to those kids at the same time. And then I decided to put those in practice in real life scenarios with my kids. So I instilled psychology in my kids. That's when I broke generational curses of suffering. I decided to input in my kids wisdom from what I have learned from, to make it normal to them, the way they can think, perceive. And now I'm talking to them like they're mature since they were little, like they can perceive you. They take mental notes when they meet new people that I invite in my house, and they would say, "Mom, that person there is this and that." They're not judging; they're like observing. There's a difference between observing and a judgmental person. So those are the things I did with my kids over time as they're growing up, and now they're adults. They're in their early 20s. I am careful now what I say to them, because like, oh my,
Yes, because they're absorbing everything.
not absorbing, observe, and they observe you, who you hang out with. You're a single mom, and after divorce, like, this is what they also tell you, like, "Mom, this and that, you shouldn't say this and that," and I listen to them, and you allow your kids to choose as well, and give them room to give you advice, because that builds trust. So I focus on that relationship. Now I focus on relationship aspects of life. So what do you want to focus on next this year? Maybe you want to focus on career. Like me, I'm focusing now mainly on career after divorce, right? Because hey, I did not do that really well when I was a mother, because I was,
Well, and let's honor all the time that to all the mothers,
yeah,
because that is a time that I feel like is such a gift. Then I definitely don't regret all the time
me
spent
too.
with the children. And I know you don't. Like, that is such sacred, special
It
time that
is.
we
It's
have to
still
kind of
work.
raise our children. But at this age now, when they're grown up and they've moved out,
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're talking about. You're you can kind of regain your identity and decide
Yeah,
who you're going to be now. You can start over and you
yeah,
can look at all of your dreams and goals. Oh, that's another great
yeah. I'm just gonna
tip
open my
for
book.
right now is to think about if reflect on or review your vision board if you have one. And if not, to start to think about making one for September, because just make
Yes,
it like as in the quarter. So you can just focus on this quarter and
yeah.
what do you want to get done. And if you have that in front of you the whole time, it's going to motivate you so much to be able to work towards those
Uh,
things. You
oh
still
yeah,
have a vision board. Um, I don't have a vision board, but I have notes stuck all
yeah,
over one wall. And that's kind of like my vision board. And
yeah,
it is a vision board actually, but it's in words
yeah. Same with me.
and
Like
not pictures. But pictures can be super powerful.
super powerful, right? For you guys, if you want, if you're not into those picture cutting magazine thing and put it in a notebook. For me, I did all of those, and like also with Angela, she loved the sticky notes, and other times I would put it on a notebook and just write things down and put dates in there, and I would just write it down. Then it's a journal, right? So put in your journal, and you can buy that journal too. What Angela has made, maybe you can show it to them. What you have, the
Oh,
journal.
I'll show you next time because
Yeah.
I have revised
Oh, revised too.
and I'm gonna order a new
Okay.
sample.
Yeah.
So I will share it with you. But
Okay. So keep that in mind.
yeah.
She has it. And yeah. So have some journal and just list out your whatever you want to focus for the rest of the year, whatever that is. And if you need help, Angela and I are here, and just give you clarity over contrast, right?
Yes. You can also do the other thing I did for a vision board was I created like my own Pinterest board in
Mm,
like Canva, and I printed it
nice.
out. And
Yeah.
that was great because I just could make it all color and pictures because the brain loves pictures. The brain
Pictures. Yes.
functions off of pictures. Because if you think about your life in different times when you've had a flash of a picture of something come in your mind, it reminds you instantly of something else.
Yeah.
So, because the mind really loves pictures even more than words. And so
Mm,
it can relate to those and images, and you'll always have images flying through your mind of things that remind you of different things. And so having the photos is probably way more powerful than the words, but
yeah.
do whatever you've got to do or use whatever
That's
you
right.
have to make do for now so that you can make the most out of this last quarter in the year. So yeah,
Yeah.
and we want to hear what your goals are. So
Yeah.
do you want to share your goals?
I'll share a few.
What are your goals for this quarter?
For me is
Finish
um
strong.
finish the publish the book, right? Republish it again and then open a workshop and do some speaking, then at the same time book launch there, a little celebration. From there, I have an interview with my producer in UK. They're gonna do a voiceover some book for my book series. That one is I'm not gonna reveal more of that. I will share that later, maybe in few months more. But that's in my vision board as well as to complete that too because it's part of the book. And then from there, also travel with my kids to Cortes Islands. Part of my vision board is start traveling, give myself some vacation with whoever I want to hang out with, my kids or friends. So give yourself also fun time apart from your projects, because that's part of life is giving yourself another kind of self-love is have some fun. Whatever
Yeah.
habits that is, like skydiving maybe for you. I did that too.
I'll
or
hang on to my lives. I
or
burned up
just
almost all 9 of my lives
or do
already.
one more camping, right? Like 1 year's time camping or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be as risky as her because I'm pretty grateful for just being on this earth right now. I'm not going to go put myself through jumping out of a plane and
A
possibly
nice
do
airplane.
anything, but that is like her thing. That it sounds super fun. And my grandma just did that. I told you guys
Yeah, I
in
know.
episodes. Yeah, 86-year-old grandma jumped out of a
She's a
plane. But
badass.
so what about if you don't have any projects?
Mm-hmm.
Could just make an effort that this quarter you start, or you have lots of projects already on the go. You could also have your goals just be incorporating more fun and
Mm-hmm.
excitement and joy into your
Yeah,
this
that's good
quarter,
too.
and trying to make focus be on happiness and joy and less stress, less
Yeah,
anxiety,
yeah.
less worry, because the holidays are coming and Thanksgiving, and that usually
Oh
means
yeah.
family and friends and money. And
Money.
sometimes that gets really stressful really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when money involves in it. Like how am I gonna spend money on this? Like you have to be really creative. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
And it's okay not to spend all the time when it comes to focusing on what you want to accomplish sometimes. Just be. Just sit on the couch sometimes with your loved ones and spend time with them, read a book for them, or maybe watch hockey games, but not all the time you sit down. Or maybe go for a walk. Those don't cost money, going for a walk. Or go canoeing doesn't cost money.
Mm-hmm.
You're tight with budget. Think of creative things. This is what I call a gift of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a gift of experience. Go
Yeah.
out in nature, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do crafts together. Set your
Yes, I've
table.
done lots of Christmases of handmade Christmases.
Or face painting, right? Why not? With your kids.
That
Or with
sounds fun.
I did that with my kids, when I lost my son, we did painting as a part of our healing journey. And
Oh, that's so
yeah,
nice.
my kid, we took pictures. My one of my daughter, she's painted her face with skeleton, and for her, that's to express, I'm sorry, that we're going through this. This is my sadness, and
Mm,
at the same time, we were grieving, but we were having fun, face painting each other. Yeah,
that's so special. That must have been such a hard time.
yeah. So those are the
Not easy.
setbacks. Regardless of setbacks, you still create memorable memories with the people that still alive with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to hear what your goals and projects or ideas or
Mhm.
fun you're going to incorporate. That'll be great. So one other thing I was thinking about when it comes to like productivity and stuff
Yeah.
is, besides decluttering, because that for me, that's a big one. And I really suggest that it helps
Hmm.
with the emotional clutter as well.
That's right.
But to kind of, what I do is kind of do like what I call a self inventory. And so this is the
Mm,
perfect time of year to do it because school is going back in and all that.
that's right.
And I do an inventory of all of my unfinished projects.
Oh,
And then
lovely.
I make a huge list. And as I'm going and decluttering and doing stuff, and I come across different things, I'm like, oh, look at something else I didn't finish. And oh, look at this sewing project I didn't finish. And look at this painting I never finished. And look at all of this business stuff and all these ideas I had that I didn't act upon, or I
Yeah.
started and never finished. And what I do is I scratch off everything that's not relevant anymore. And I get rid of all the projects of like, I have lots of sewing and embroidery, and oh my goodness. If I think, am I actually going to finish this? If yes, I'm going to put it on my list, like to finish. And if not, I'm going to get rid of it because
Oh, nice.
it was in the moment and it was fun in the moment, and I'm not throwing that time away that I enjoyed working on that thing, but I guess it's just not, it's not my thing anymore. So I'm gonna, if I really love it, I'll set it to the side and say, I am gonna finish this, but if not, I'm gonna just take some inventory of all the stuff around you that you have going, it's half done. And you can do that in your business too, and it's really eye-opening.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
look at all the stuff that you started and never finished.
Yeah.
And it feels so good to just scratch off. Nope, this isn't relevant. Nope, not interested in that. Is this inspiring to me? Nope, not inspiring. Nope, nope. This is like bro marketing. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. And then what is really like feels good and fun and exciting and fall. And well, maybe you're listening from Australia and it's summer, so or spring. I better not say that. But you know what? Even if it is, that's a great same time I kind of do this is I do it in the fall and the spring. And I go through everything. And then I compact my list and it feels so light. Like it's just like a burden is lifted. And I'm like, I don't feel like, oh, I've got all this stuff hanging there that I didn't ever do anything with and I didn't finish. It's gone. I just gave myself permission to scratch it off and feel like, no, I'm going to take inspired action. Is this excite me? Is it inspire me? Because those are the projects. There's a scientific quote somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it. I just saw it the other day, and it said that when you're given a inspiration to do something, there's a 48-hour window where if you don't take inspired action on that thing, you're probably not going to ever do it.
Exactly.
That's those things why, when we wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, I just had this dream. I have the best idea. And then you act on it. That thing is so powerful because you acted on that inspiration. Whereas if you just add it to your to-do list of 100 other things, it kind of goes down the list and then it gets forgotten about. It's never done. So take that inspired action is what I'm getting at. Take that inspired action and run with it when you have those moments and finish the thing.
Yeah.
And because if it's meant to come to fruition, it will. All those other things are just not probably inspiring. Maybe there were things you thought you should do. Maybe there were things that felt good in the moment. Maybe there were things that someone else was doing. So you thought you're going to jump on the wagon and do all that, but it wasn't your thing.
Exactly.
So let it go. Give yourself permission to let this stuff all go, scratch it off, and give yourself a fresh start for fall. That's where I'm going.
Yay. So create your own life, or either you're gonna create your own stress, which is gonna be how you're gonna evolve or you're gonna remain stuck.
Pardon me.
So your choice in how you wanna focus on this for the rest of this year. So thank you guys and ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, thank you for being here. It's almost an hour here, and so what else can you add on here, Angela?
Okay, see that sewing machine right there in the corner?
The bottom down there? Okay.
I got that out because I was in some inspirational mode to make something. And so I printed out like 20 patterns that I bought. And guess what I made? One blouse. You know what? It's super cute. I love it. And I gave myself permission like a week ago to put the sewing stuff away right now because I'm really focused on some other projects that are really inspirational to me. And that's kind of like a winter hobby. So you know what? Come January or whatever, I'll get that back out. Or maybe even before, maybe for making some Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. But right now I kept thinking, oh, I can't put it away. I can't put it away because I'm abandoning all these ideas. And when you're multi-passionate, doing that is just like chopping off your head because you're so I left it out. But you know what? I'm allowed putting it away. It's not away yet, but the ironing board, the fabric, all the other stuff I've put away. And I'm going to focus on what I was doing. So those are my last words. Just do what is inspiring to you because it's going to be way more when you're finished it, you're going to be so feel so good about it, and you'll be so inspired the whole time while you're working on it,
Exactly.
because if it's something you feel like you have to do, it's like, "Ugh, ugh, ugh." But when it's exciting, you're like, ooh, I can't
Yeah.
wait. You know, you're
Keep the
thinking about
high.
it at night. You
Yeah.
want to get up early in the morning. You want to work on the thing. You're still having ideas while you sleep. It's hard to go to bed because you're just so pumped with inspiration. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so do follow up on those things. And I know we're only one human. We can't do them all. And when you're, you know, we're both multi-passionate about so many things. You cannot possibly do all your ideas. It just is
Yeah.
not reality, you
No,
know.
it's
So
it
give
does it's
yourself
not
permission
productive anymore.
to
Yeah.
focus on what inspires you in the moment. And I just feel like
Exactly.
those projects just come to life, and they're aligned. They're aligned with
I like
who
that.
you are, because you're all full into it, right? And
Yeah.
they
I
just,
mean, do it for you. Don't do it to please people, because if you please people, now again you go back to like walking with your head cut off, and you don't want to do that just to please people, that you can do anything. Just do you, be you, and live it out loud, and this leads you to your truth, who you truly are. Again, it's fun to discover who you really are in this for the rest of your life. It's really fun, and doing one thing or two things is okay. That's being human. It's beautiful.
it is. Be you. I love that. Let you see your truth and your
Yeah.
true self, you know. Yeah, and take action on the projects that feel really aligned, feel
Yeah.
really good, and do those.
Yeah. I love the word aligned.
Get rid of
Aligned.
the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, friends, it was so nice to chat with you tonight. I can't wait to see you back next Wednesday.
Woohoo.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.